Hi everyone, it's Angela from Cake Angel and welcome to the 12 Trees of Christmas. In this new series I'll be showing you how to decorate a variety of Christmas trees with cakes, cookies and cupcakes. And today we're going to start with a royal iced cookie. So here you can see we've got 6 different colours of royal icing. These are a thinner consistency icing and you can follow the recipe link above that shows you how to make my icing. And to start, we've got our blank cookie and I'm just going to run through the finished cookie so you can see what it's going to look like. So most of the icing will sink into itself. We are doing a wet on wet technique, but as we're letting the green crust over, the balls will actually stay on top of the icing slightly, which gives it a nice raised effect. So the first thing we're going to do is cut our green icing bag. You can see I like to have the seam facing towards me for this. I flatten out my bag and then I just snip a little bit off of the end. Next I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to outline the tree. As you can see, I'm left-handed and I like to steady my arm just using my other hand to do that, and I find that's a much more comfortable position for me when I'm piping. Helps me control the icing a little better as well, but you can do this however you like, whatever's comfortable for you. And obviously if you're right-handed, just mirror everything that I'm doing. Now I do use the same consistency of icing to outline and flood. The reason I do that is that I like it to be a seamless cover. It doesn't matter if you like to have your outline showing. Again, it's a completely personal preference for you. So when I am flooding, as you can see here, I am just squeezing the bag a little bit harder this time. Don't worry if your icing doesn't go all the way to the edge of your outline, as we're going to use our Scribe tool just to manipulate that icing and move it around a little bit and fill in any of those holes that we've left. You're going to be fairly quick doing this. Your icing is on a thinner side anyway, so it's not going to dry out that quickly, but you do want to do this as quickly as you can to stop any bits crusting over. So you can see I'm just kind of manipulating it with the tip of the bag. You can use a Scribe tool for this as well, whatever you have to hand. And again, you can see that it is kind of melting into itself as well. Still got some lines showing, so I'm going to give it a bit of a shake first. Now obviously when you do this, be really careful. Make sure you have a tight grip on that cookie. You wouldn't want to drop it at this stage. You can see that all those lines have kind of melted into themselves now. Just have a couple of little peaks here and there that I want to flatten, and a little area here on the right that I just want to smooth over. And look how nice and smooth that is. So if you want to check out my consistency video, I'm just going to pop the link at the top for you there, and that'll give you a better idea of how to get your icing to the right consistency for flood work. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to move on to my next colour. Okay, so we're going to do brown next. I'm going to do the stump of the tree. You could do this in a different colour if you wanted it to replicate a bucket for the tree to sit in or a tree stand. It's entirely up to you. So this bag has already been cut. I've used it before, so I'm just going to push everything down to the end. Pipe a quick outline and then fill it in. Now the reason I'm doing this before the green dries is that this will actually stop the colours bleeding into each other. If you pipe 2 different colours next to each other at the same time, again that's going to stop that colour bleed. And I'm just going to use my Scribe tool to make sure it's nicely lined up. Again, pushing the icing so that it joins up really nicely with that green. So that looks really pretty as it is. We could leave it like that. You could add some sprinkles at this stage if you just wanted a sprinkle tree instead. I'm just going to tidy up a few more little bits. So now I'm going to start on the decoration for the tree. I'm using a white thin consistency icing here, and I'm just going to pipe zigzags back and forth for the tinsel, or garland, whatever you prefer to call it. You can have these as straight as you like, as wiggly as you like. However you want to do this is perfectly good. Every tree should be different, so I'll let you decide which way you prefer this. And that's our tinsel done. So when this dries, you could paint this if you wanted it to be sparkly. You could add luster dust to it, or you could paint it with some dust and alcohol. Make it silver or make it gold, whatever you prefer. I'm just going to leave it white for this tree though. Next, I'm going to start to add the balls. Again, this is the thin consistency icing. I'm just going to put a little bit on the board first to make sure that it's coming out okay for me. I'm going to add a larger one at the top. Now you could pop a star sprinkle here if you wanted to, but I'm just keeping to the nice ball theme, and I'm randomly going to pipe them around the tree. So when I'm doing this, the piping bag is above the surface. I'm piping and squeezing, I'm stopping and then pulling away. Now, as long as your icing is the right consistency, you won't get any peaks when you do this, but if you do, you can just use your Scribe tool to tap those down. You can also use a dry brush as well. So now I'm going to move on to my next colour, and it's exactly the same process. So if you want smaller balls, you obviously just pipe a little bit less this time, which is what I'm doing with the red. If you want to build them up, you just squeeze a little bit longer. But always keep that bag still once you start piping. Okay, that's looking good. We're going to move on to our blue. And again, this is all the same consistency icing. I'm just going to pipe a little bit on the board to make sure my consistency is good, and then pipe away on the cookie. And you can see how quick and easy this is to add lots of colour and lots of detail to your cookies. You can use any colours you like. And that's looking really pretty, but for my final thing, I'm just going to add small dots of white. And this is to kind of replicate the lights on the tree. So again, I'm just going to squeeze a little bit for these to keep them nice and small. So I squeeze and then I pull away. Squeeze and pull away. And it gives you a really, really nice effect. So as you can see, the hardest part sometimes is deciding where to put the next one. And there's no wrong way to do this, so just have fun with it. Fill your tree as much as you like. Okay, I think that's enough, so there we go. A nice and simple Christmas tree. And you can see the two together. So it's a little bit different on the one that I've just shown you now. You can see the difference in the tinsel, but still a really nice effect. And you can see those balls are slightly raised on the icing as well, so it gives a little bit of dimension to your cookie. I hope you've enjoyed that tutorial. Stay tuned to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe so that you get notifications of the next tutorial coming soon. Thanks for watching.